I'm going to show you how to get the most benefit out of walking. And walking is something that I just recently discovered. I walked on the treadmill a little bit, but I never really walked outside. And this summer, I kind of embraced walking and decided to do a 30-day challenge of walking 10,000 steps a day. And during that time of walking the 10,000 steps a day, it was just kind of a goal of mine to make that 10,000 steps. So I did it for 30 days and I lost 8 pounds. I didn't have a lot to lose, but I wanted to lose about 10 pounds. And I didn't expect that I would do it in a month. And all I did was simply just get myself out there in the fresh air and walk. And it changed so many things for me: better mental clarity and increased cardiovascular health, shaped my legs. Like, my legs are very shapely and you can't see them here, but gave them some good muscles. So I really like that about it. Now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to walk about 15,000 steps a day. But what I want to talk to you about is, if you haven't been a walker or if you haven't walked a lot or anything like that, what you can do is you can start out with 10 minutes. And if that's too much for you, get up and walk to the mailbox and walk to the mailbox and back, and do that as many times as you can during the day until you feel a little bit better, or just walk down the street for a little while and come back. But try and get to 10 minutes and then start increasing your time to 12 minutes, 14 minutes, and gradually build up to 30 minutes. So there's so many benefits. As you get older, we lose our balance. And balance is such a key thing as you get older, because if you do not have strength in your legs, it's going to be really hard for you as you get older. But actually, people walk into their 80s and even 90s if they have been doing it several times a week, just because it feels good. It feels good to actually move your body. And if you do this consistently, you can get all the benefits. Another thing, it lowers your risk of heart disease, and you can lower your blood pressure. You can do so many things by this. And as we get older, we do not need to do that crazy cardio stuff. I was an Insanity certified instructor in my 50s, and I don't even want to do that anymore. I mean, there's just a point that you're like, okay, I just don't want to be that hard on my body. And this is what I do. I love to walk alone because I like to listen to podcasts while I walk. And I turn my phone off usually, or sometimes I talk to my friend in Florida while she's out walking too. And that's just, it kind of, you're not concentrating on how long it's going to be before I get back or whatever, but you're enjoying the nature, talking to your friend. That's a good way. You can also get a friend to go with you on a walk too, and that's a great way to get your steps in. Some of the things that you want to do, I just got back from a 10,000 step walk, and so I'm kind of sweaty and gross, but I thought I'd make this video anyway for you. But you want to have the right clothes. So this is a shirt that I got off Amazon that is just, it's a quick dry shirt. So when you sweat in it, it quickly dries out, so you don't have that, like if you wore a cotton t-shirt, you'd be soaked and it would stay soaked for the next few hours. But these dry out. And you also want to get leggings or long bicycle shorts that actually have pockets on the side to put my phone. So if I'm out walking, I can listen to music or a podcast or whatever and just enjoy my time being alone. I really like that. But the right gear. Shoes. You want to get a good walking shoe. And this is what I've got. These are Hoka's. These were about $125, and it was well worth the money. You can get Nikes Nike running shoes for 35, 40 bucks, but they just don't feel as good as the Hokas. When I first got them, I put them on the first day and went out and walked 5 miles and didn't have any blisters. There was no breaking into them. It felt like I was walking on almost like a rubber mat. It felt really good, and my legs weren't tired after the walk. So getting the right shoes is really important, and I will put a link in the comments below to the shoes I've got because I'm getting ready to get another pair of these. I bought them in April, and because I've been walking so much, it is now August, so that's 4 months. I don't know if you can see the bottom of these, but I want to show you the treads wearing off of them. So walking or running shoes, they break down. And so the standard is if you walk 30 minutes a day or 3 to 4 hours on average as part of your walking regimen, you might want to consider changing your shoes every 6 months. If you walk 60 minutes a day or 7 hours on average every week, you want to change your shoes every 3 months because they break down. They lose their ability to support and absorb shock after 3 to 6 months. The other thing that I do is like in the winter, you want to layer up. And so you can like peel that layer off once you get warm. And I get warm pretty quick. So I like to tie my jacket around my waist and just kind of peel down. Now you can't do that in the summer, obviously. The other thing is you want to be aware of your surroundings at all times, especially if you're walking alone. And I'm a realtor, so I am really cognizant of where I am and who's around me at all times. But the other thing is that this is on my keychain. I take this with me and I will stick it in my pocket, and it is pepper spray. So if you would meet a dog or something like that, you would have that in your pocket, and it shoots out quite a long ways. I don't know, a wild animal, something like that, but you've got that on you just in case you would need it or if you were attacked. Heaven forbid, but sometimes it does happen. So you just want to really be aware of your surroundings. We have trails through our town where I live, and I usually don't go on those alone because it's really wooded there, and there's homeless people and things like that around, but you want to be careful and you want to have some kind of protection with you. There's 4 types of walking. There's leisure walking where you just cruise around and no big deal. There's power walking, which you are going to get your heart rate up into a cardio state. And there's hiking, and hiking is great because the terrain changes. Now, the community that I live in is a gated community, and it's on a golf course, but there's lots of hills here around that golf course, so I take those every day. It gets my heart rate up, and I really don't need to do other cardio activities. And then there's urban walking where you just explore your downtown area or the trails or whatever, but at least you're out moving and not going to burn the calories like you would if you were jogging or running, but you can burn quite a bit of calories by walking. If you can walk to work by all means, or go out on your lunch hour and spend part of your lunch hour walking. That's very healthy. If you've got a dog, your dog would love for you to take them on a long walk. Dogs love to do that. So I would encourage you, and it's safer if you've got a dog, but I would encourage you to think about doing something like that and gives your pet some exercise as well as yourself. You can also I use a Fitbit, and it's got an app. It tracks my steps, it tracks my sleep, it tracks my water intake. You can actually use it for calories and how much food you eat. You can do all kinds of things with it, and you can share it with your friends to motivate you. If your friend lives someplace else, you can share that, and it keeps you accountable. And sometimes you just need to be accountable. You want to burn more calories. One thing that you're going to do is you're going to bend your arm and you're going to walk. It will help you walk faster. That's a good thing. And then if you're on hills, that burns more calories. If you're on a treadmill, if you raise the incline of your treadmill, that's going to help you burn more calories. Walking poles. Now that might look dumb and you've seen people out doing it, but walking poles burn 30% more calories. 30%. That's significant. They also lessen the strain on your knees and your hips by 30%, if you can believe that, because you're kind of leaning into it a little bit. Walking poles use 90% of your muscles. So that's a great way to get a little bit of arm strength by using walking poles. The other thing that you can do, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do a 30-day challenge of this, is get a walking vest, and that's a weighted vest, and it should be about 10% of your body weight. I'm going to get a 12-pound vest, and that is really, it's going to work your upper body, and you don't have to wear it in just walking. You can use it walking around the house even. Start doing your walking in a walking vest. If you hit a plateau, you're walking your 10,000 steps or 5 miles, and you want to get more of a burn that way. Other thing is that if you walk with friends, they'll hold you accountable. You'll feel like you need to go on days that you don't want to go because you don't want to let your friend down. So that is something that you should definitely think about. And you definitely want to explore new routes. You don't want to do the same route every day because you will get bored with it. But definitely think about that. I found some statistics that were pretty cool. 57% of Americans walk to relieve stress. I like that a lot. I have pretty stressful days, and I like to walk to let all that stress go. 67% found that they just get mental clarity from getting outside and walking, and they can actually contemplate what they're doing for the day or think about other things. So there's that. And a third of US citizens walk just to take a breather from work. So other thing that I love about a Fitbit is it reminds you to get up and walk 250 steps every hour, which sometimes that's just not possible. I don't ever get all my hourly steps in, honestly, because when you get up from a task like that, you're going to go spend 5 minutes walking, but it takes you 20 minutes to get back into your project, or maybe longer than that. So you want to keep that in mind, but those are just some good tips. Walking is one of the most simplest forms of exercise, and it's completely free. So I encourage you to get out there and start walking, and let me know how it's going in the comments below. I will put links to my pepper spray and the Hokas in the comment section, and other things that I do. Just ask what you'd like to know in the comments, and I'd be glad to answer them.